Yo, what's up, guys and gals? It's me here. I'm going to be discussing the latest zombie mode tier list after the recent zombie mode changes from yesterday. First and foremost, they gave Infected Commando better accuracy. They gave Prototype, well, they kind of nerfed Prototype, but look at it. It's basically unchanged. You go Prototype, you spawn in, you kill something, and then you get cash. It's like crazily stupid. Void Supporter, they lost bullet resistance, but let's be honest, no one really cared for that. And laser resistance, kind of whatever. So, frankly, nothing really changed. Demon, on the other hand, they got a pretty nice buff, but, still outclassed. Like, why the hell would you go Demon for range damage when you can go Infected Commando? Also, your player model is huge, so Railgunner players just mow you down. Eternal Jack buffs, though, you can see right there, I have it at number 3 for the third best zombie. Because, holy moly, it is crazy. 2 shots max Golden Zed. Absurd. Absurdly good. First and foremost, I can see right here, we have Infected Doctor, right as the #1 best zombie in the game. Here's what it does. Makes you cash, heal zombies, really hard to kill because of all the explosive resistance buffs it got. Like, Max Mortar used to be one of the best towers in the game because it countered Infected Doctor. But, since Infected Doctor takes half damage from explosives now, it's just kind of broken. You can't counter Infected Doctor. Like, Max Golden Zed missiles is like, I believe, 700. Like, Max GZ AoE missiles is just 700. So, that means that with the newly buffed Infected Doctor, you're kind of just doing no damage. Which means the only way to kill Infected Doctor is to have a Void Trader come and melee it. Or have a Railgunner snipe him in the head. But guess what? They can go behind the wall, and then with the built-in life regeneration, they can regenerate it all back. And because they just deleted Aviator, there's no way to actually counter it effectively. Either you can have 10 max mortar shots take it out, which is really slow, and by the time you're like able to do damage, zombie mode will spot you and target you out. So in order to take out Infected Doctor, you need 4 max mortars coordinated and targeting them. I mean, 2 can work, but it's still pretty slow. So literally, there's no way to counter Infected Doctor, and it makes it so that zombies are basically unkillable. I just had a server in which I had like 9,000 health as King Boss 3 during Lord 4 wave, and the Infected Doctor brought me back up to like 2 point, like 25,000 health, or yeah. Like I went from 9k to 25k in just a short time with Infected Doctor healing me while I was punching Zeds. It's absurdly broken. Undoubtedly the best zombie in the game. It needs major nerfs. But until then, abuse it like crazy. Always have 2 people on Infected Doctor at all times. Only time you shouldn't is if they're like starting to counter the midwave zombies. Next up, we got Lord Boss 3. Yeah. There's like, they nerfed Aviator, which is Lord 3's biggest counter. What else? No one's really using Mortar anymore, so you can't really get Mortar bombarded as Lord 3. And any damage you take, you can just have Infected Doctor heal it all back up. The only time you'll ever die as Lord 3 is if there's either A, no Infected Doctors, or B, the entire team is focusing you instead of the boss, which is a net positive because you can respawn whereas the bosses can't. So Lord 3 is just undoubtedly the strongest Lord to use. The advantages Lord 4 had was having big chunk of health, but now that Infected Doctor is added, there's like no reason to go Lord 4 over Lord 3. Because with Lord 3, you can do more damage quicker and reach Golden Zeds quicker than Lord 4, and regenerate all your health back, while placing summoners that can spawn camp and take out stationary towers. Lord 3 does it all, and they're cheaper than Lord 4. Undoubtedly one of the best Lords to use, but they're kind of one of the hardest because if you suck with Lord 3, you're just gonna like get wrecked really quickly. You need strafing, you need like circle strafing, you need to learn how to counter strafe, you need to learn, you know, you need to learn how to circle Golden Zeds, you need to learn you need to learn the hitboxes too, because I believe you can go through a Golden Zed but not take ram damage. So Lord 3 is one of the most hardest zombies to play. But other than that, they're really overpowered because of the newly added infected doctor. Next up, we have Eternal Jack, which I don't have a PNG of them. I don't own Eternal Jack, so that's kind of funny. You can see right there, they buffed the stats like crazy. First and foremost, you have a revive. That's really stupid. But to be frank, like, the revive is just a backup plan for if there's no infected doctors. But if there is, you you basically have like you could basically never die as long as you have infected doctors pocketing you. Because the revive, you can just treat it as if you just never died. It's absurd. And then a lightning strike is the most consistent projectile in the game. Because in lag, projectiles like toboggans, planet Earths, Titans, Armageddon, Expired Jack, like every single Juggernaut, their projectile can just lag, break, glitch out, hit nothing, vanish in midair, or do nothing. But Eternal Jack, you just click it and it kills people there. Absurdly good. Undoubtedly the best Juggernaut in the game. If they rerun this event, they're gonna have to nerf Eternal Jack because everyone is gonna be utilizing it because of how overpowered it is. The only nerf I would give to Eternal Jack is just a price increase if they rerun the event. Because otherwise, if you nerf the stats, like, we'll just go back to Planet Earth or Titan, you know? If you nerf Eternal Jack, then we'll just go back to other options. So, frankly, a price adjustment is needed. Or, frankly, nerfs to other things like, wink wink, Infected Doctor. Next up, the fourth best zombie of the game, King Boss 3. Every single King player and their grandmothers depend on King Boss 4, but King Boss 4 is a noob trap. As you see, it's literally 10,000 less health than Lord Boss 3. It's literally a Lord 3, but with 10,000 less health, and it punches slightly slower. It does the exact same thing as Lord 3, only $6,000 cheaper, and you have less health, but that's basically it. It's still Lord 3, but now there's two of them, and I said already, but it's King 3. I went from 9k health to 25k health during the Lord 4 wave because of one single infected doctor. One infected doctor did that. I would be immortal if there were two infected doctors pocketing me. Undoubtedly, the strongest king in the game. Never sleep on King Boss 3, because King Boss 3 will give you practice for Lord Boss 3, which is, again, the other best Lord in the game. Anyways, yeah, there's like no situation in which King 3 is a terrible choice. A lot of Zeds grouped up, sure, go for it. You can outrange the explosive damage, you can strafe their shots, or you can have a Juggernaut or Prototype take them out. There's like really no bad case for King 3. Even in tightly closed map, like Blocky Castle, what else is there? That's kind of close. Subspace, Sub-Zero Mountain, Eternal Sky Garden, I think is what it's called. Like, any small or medium-sized map, even King and Lord 3 will get great value on. And large maps like Autumn Cascade or Grassy Plains, you'll still get huge value on because of your high speed. So frankly, there's never a bad time to use them. Next up, we got Prototype, the king of money making. Literally, the only time you'll ever not get cash as Prototype is if you just suck at the game. That's it. I'm putting it kindly. The only time you will ever struggle to get cash as Prototype is if you just blindly charge in at like 4 Void Traders grouped up together, because you now take like 25% more damage from melee. Even then, you can just drill next to Golden Commandos or Exterminators afar, or, you also have the ability to insta-kill any doctor, because Prototype damage is 750 and max doctor health is 750. So you can pierce through shields instantly and take out Doctor, which is one of the best towers because of the fact that they can strip out Zombiemode cash entirely and heal important towers like Exterminator, Max Golden Commando, Phaser, Railgunner, Zed, Void Trader, that kind of stuff. So being the ultimate counter to Doctor, stationary towers, Zed, and being a cash gainer all at the same time, while being able to teleport, is one of like the strongest things for a non-timer based zombie. Plus, people can cycle it. There can be like 4 zombie modes in menu. 2 will spawn as Prototype, the other 2 will wait for Prototype slots. So then you can cycle prototypes and effectively spam prototype the entire game because it doesn't have like a global cooldown. It just has a player directed cooldown. And because it has AoE damage, it's really crazy at taking out crowds. Arguably one of the strongest zombies. Well, yeah, of course it is one of the strongest. It's stupid. But next up we got Planet Earth. Let me give you the rundown. They were Railgunner is really unreliable, but it's so good. But the problem is no one uses Railgunner. So that means people are gonna depend on Phaser. And you know what has universally been a good Phaser counter? Planet Earth. If you don't have any event juggernauts, then go Planet Earth. Their missiles can just take out Golden Commandos, Phasers, Railgunners, Commanders, anything that isn't a Zed in Void Trader, Planet Earth missiles can kill. It's absurdly stupid. And even then, you basically take out engineer turrets. And engineer turrets do 125 damage each at max level. And because there's 2 engineers and there's 6 sentries max, that's absurd DPS. It's like 375 damage on just 1 engineer alone on the sentries. So you're basically taking out an exterminator from afar. So it's universally useful. The only time Planet Earth would ever be bad is if you're trying to kill a Zed or Golden Zed. Don't even bother. By the time you reach them, they can just menu and respawn somewhere else. Even on small maps like Blocky Castle. Just like your King 3, Lord 3, Armageddon, Boss 5, Guardian, Necromancer Boss. Just let anyone else take care of it. Your job is for squishy towers and void traders. That is your main role as Planet Earth. And Planet Earth does that job perfectly. And because of the missiles, if there's like a max mortar trying to take out the doctors, you can just snipe them. If there's a railgunner trying to take out your doctor, you can snipe him. If there's anything, you can snipe him, as long as it isn't a Zed. The second best Juggernaut in the game. People definitely sleep on it. Really good. Next up, we got Necromancer Boss. Let me just get the image real quick. I literally have him locked right there. 5,000 health, 35k health, 10k damage. Now, you might be wondering what's so good about Necromancer Boss? They're a guardian that can spawn enemies. They can spawn camp really well. You just sit on top of a spawn camp, and boom, you're all set. Like, the main strategy as tower is to take out Necromancer Boss NPCs really quickly. Because the Fire Spirits can just spawn camp. And that's why people say Void Trader deal with Kraus. But guess what? Necromancer Boss can kill Void Traders really quickly. And with Fire Spirits, they can take out stationary towers like Golden Commando, Exterminator. You get the point. Point is, it's a Guardian, but 2 people can use it. And there's Fire Spirit summons will spawn camp. Because there's not a lot of Mortar players out there and not a lot of Aviators, you're able to especially camp behind walls if you're wanting to, like on store and whatnot, and just snipe out stationary towers. But that's not really recommended. The only time I'd recommend trying to snipe stationary towers is if it's like on a map like store and you want money, or you're just trying to get cash in general. But using Necromancer Boss for cash gain on a projectile is not that recommended. Not that good. Your main role as Necromancer Boss is to spawn camp and to disrupt crowds. You're sort of a crowd control kind of thing. Sort of like a bootleg Planet Earth, but you spawn camp. Otherwise, really good. It's the meta. Don't sleep on it. Next up, we got Guardian. As you can see, the 3 things that kind of share a limit, well, Necromancer Boss and Boss 5, they both share limits, not Guardian. But yeah, it's Guardian. You one-shot Zeds, you one-shot Void Traders, Golden Zeds will die quick. You basically spawn camp. You kill anything that isn't a Golden Zed. And your Kings and Lords are going to be handling Golden Zed anyway, so you just might as well spawn camp. You can, what you can do is, like, let's say it's on a map like Blocky Castle, and you notice all the towers are spawning on the top side and going on the top right section. What you can do is sort of camp the top side of the map and prevent any towers from, like, really setting up a little DPS hill, as they call it. They're sort of the, anti-spawner. You can't really spawn in if there's a guardian nearby, otherwise you just die instantly, basically. And Void Traders, well, they die quick. And with Infected Doctor, any damage dealt to Guardian will just be negated. And they even have lifesteal built in. So, really, really hard to kill. Huge AoE crowd, big spawn camper. Like, let me pull up an example. Let me just go on the wiki real quick and look up the store map, right? Store, let me just look up store. Let me try to find the spawns. Oh, there's not an image of spawns. Okay, but you'll just have to imagine it real quick. On the store map, there's like there's like two spawns that towers like to spawn on a lot. The far left side and the far right side. Most of the time, Void will be around the middle section, so people can't really spawn in the middle. But if you go as Guardian and you camp on like the far left side or the far right side, no one will be able to spawn there because you can just instantly take them out, which is huge. And you can do the same on bigger maps like Autumn Cascade, or you can spawn camp the top section and subspace mountain or whatever. Or Golden Abyss is one of the few maps in which Guardian doesn't get much value in. I mean, you can directly camp the middle, but that's about it. And most of the time the big boss is going to be around there for the most part. Otherwise, really good zombie. Does what it's supposed to do. Pretty nice. Next up, we got Boss 5. Boss 5 is what I like to call kill Golden Zed if everything else is on cooldown. Like, you go Boss 5, you go after Zed, Golden Zed, you take your damage, you rage, you have Infected Doctor heal you, and boom. Now you're like a King 3 with a kind of slow cooldown. There's like not a global cooldown for Boss 5, so you can have multiple people synchronize buying Boss 5 and targeting Golden Zed while they wait for King 3 or Lord 3 to be back off cooldown. The best thing about Boss 5, Guardian, and Necromancer boss is they all make cash. So while you're dealing... I misspoke. So while you're doing heavy damage to the tower team, Golden Zeds, and whatnot, you're still making cash, so it's pretty hard to get bankrupt with them. Otherwise, it has its weaknesses. If you get targeted, it's kind of whatever, but otherwise really good. Next up, we got Slime. If I'm gonna be honest, if you ever lose cash as Slime, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do to help you. Slime is like really stupid for making cash. In the Goose Bonds, will help take out doctors. What else? Cryo gunners, if there's any. Supporter towers can pester railgunners by blocking their vision. It can take out phasers. It just does everything, Deals damage to squishy towers while getting you a bunch of cash. Never a bad time to use Slime. Next thing we got up is Hidden Boss. Now, first and foremost, look at the stats. 300 damage, 6,000 health, all for the same price as Super Slow, while having 30 speed and being able to go invisible. It's crazy. It's like your Mystery 2 when it comes to making cash. The only time you'll ever not make cash as Hidden Boss is if there's a max Hollow Boomer. That's it. There's only one way you'll never get cash, and that's max Hollow Boomer. I guess the other time is if there's 4 people going max Mortar, but what are the odds of that? It's rare seeing one max Mortar ever since all the nerfs, let alone 3 to 4. So you're always gonna make cash. The only time you'll ever not make cash again is if there's I don't know, something else like Plasma Trooper. But even then you'll make a crap ton of cash before, you die. So there's really, it does everything. It does offense, it gives you cash. It basically does what a zombie you want to do. Cash and damage. It's perfect. If there's a max phaser, well, take them out. Really good for Lord Hidden Boss Wave, as there's going to be a few max phasers. Really good for traversing the map because of high speed. And just kind of does, everything that you want it to do, which I said twice in a row now, but whatever, that's besides the point. Oh, baby. This one I hate a lot. Infected Commando. As you can see right there, they made it more accurate. Yeah, I just went on a server and I made 15k in a single life as Infected Commando. Yeah, really stupid. It just shreds everything. The only time you'll never kill something as Infected Commando is if there's high-leveled Zeds, high-leveled Golden Zeds, and high-leveled Void Traders. Other than that, you'll just kill everything. You'll kill everything from afar while making a crap ton of cash. Railgunner? Sure, any part of the Railgunner will count as getting hit, so they have to dismount or else they die. Plasma Trooper? Plasma Trooper. They just die quick. You just kind of do everything as Infected Commando. The only time you'll ever die as Infected Commando is if there's max Railgunner. Well then just go behind a wall. Have Infected Doctor heal you. Or even better, don't go behind a wall, because Infected Doctor can out-heal a Railgunner headshot, which is absurdly overpowered. A Railgunner headshot at 7.5k, and somehow Infected Doctor can out-heal that. That's crazy. Only time you'll ever die as Infected Commando is if there's two max Railgunners synchronizing their headshot at the exact same time. The only time you will ever die is if there's more than one max Railgunner by wave 21. Which, let's be honest, you never see a max Railgunner by wave 21, or is it 22? I think it's 22. Let alone two of them. Nearly impossible to die. Does a lot of damage, gives a good chunk of cash, takes out aviators, takes out railgunners, takes out plasma trooper, can deal damage to void traders. It just does so much. It's so stupid. I hate this thing. I hate it. It's stupid. Why are they buff it? Obnoxious as hell. Next up is Titan. I don't own Titan. It's just really stupid though. Treat it like a Lord 4 without... Treat it like a, wave 30 Lord 4. That's about it. Only with AoE. Crazy stupid. Your rock deals 15k damage, so it just kills everything in the game that isn't a Golden Zed. It used to be the best Juggernaut in the game, but they gave Golden Zed freeze immunity, so now just kind of whatever. Still, third best Juggernaut, when there's when the competition is 6 total and you're the third best, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It also is really good at body blocking for Lord 4. So what you can do is go Titan, body block for Lord 4, and then use your projectile to kill any max Zeds. And they're just gone. It's stupid. It's really stupid. But yeah, nothing much to say about Titan. You die to fire damage, which, unless there's a hollow boomer, it's really not going to matter because, they keep nerfing Archer every single update. So it's who's going to use Archer to take you out? No one. Otherwise, pretty good Juggernaut. Does what it's supposed to do. It body blocks, it takes out Zeds, it deals with crowds, it freezes stuff. It's pretty good. Gets the job done. Alright, next up we got Lord Boss 4. Looking at the stats, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's excellent. It does what it needs to do. You punch Golden Zed twice, it dies. Simple enough. Insta kills Zeds, insta kills Void Traders. Just basically insta kills anything that isn't Golden Zed. It does what it needs to do, You pick Lord 4 on Blocky Castle. That's about it. Only time you should ever go King 4 or Lord 4 is if it's a tiny map like Blocky Castle, a spawn campy map like Subspace Mountain, or it's a map where there's a lot of walls and towers are forced to go into one spawn like Ethereal Sky Garden. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's the only time you should ever use that. Otherwise, just go Lord 3. Lord 4 ain't that special. The main advantages it has, which is health, is kind of redundant because Infected Doctor, at that point I should just go Lord 3 and just get healed anyways. You're gonna get healed anyways as Lord 4, so really. And also, phaser immunity, who the hell cares for phaser immunity? You're gonna have a Planet Earth sniping them, you're gonna have Necromancer bosses killing them, you're gonna have everything. Realistically, there's gonna be if you don't have phaser immunity, a phaser is just gonna lock on you for 5 to 10 seconds, and then they die. And it's as if nothing happened, because Infected Doctor will just out-heal the phaser anyways. So, same thing applies with King Boss 4. I mean, they're both really popular. The only time I would ever suggest playing those two, again, is if it's a small map, or if you're not that skilled at the game. If you're the only Lord player on your team, and no one else on your team has Lords, then sure, go Lord 4. If you're the only King player on your team and someone else is Lord 3, then sure, go King Boss 4 if you're not all that good. They're just sort of I'm new at the game, but I want to help my team kind of zombies. Lord 4 and King 4 doesn't really take all that skill. You just walk forward, you punch thing, you have Infected Doctor heal you, you never die, and then that's just basically the game plan. I mean, realistically, the only weakness that King Boss 4 has against Lord 4 is the fact that you kill Golden Zed slightly slower. Phaser immunity doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't matter. You're going to be working anyways. I mean, you have slowdown immunity, but unless you're spawning right beside a flamethrower, or unless, unless you're careless, you will never get set on fire as Lord 3. Because let's be honest, who the hell is using Archer and trying to take out a Lord 3 with it? If you're Lord 3 and you see an Archer, just like move to the side. What the hell are they gonna do? I mean, in most servers, there's like 150 ping to 300 ping, in which case Archer arrow will just do nothing. So like, if you get hit as Lord 3 to an Archer arrow, you should probably go Lord 4 then, if you're not that good. Putting it, joking aside though, King 4 does what it needs to do, takes out Zed, takes out Void Trader. It's not all that good because you can just have someone go Guardian or Necromancer boss or Boss 5 or Planet Earth and do the same thing, or hell, Armageddon. So frankly, King Boss 4 outclassed, only good if you're kind of new to the game. Otherwise, it's whatever. Next up, Boss 3. It's pretty good. Like, sometimes you will lose cash, and that's in like bad scenarios or you're being careless. But it just kind of does what it needs to as well, Go up to Stationary Tower, take them out, get money. You spawn supporter, you spawn camp a little bit, It's only $1,000 too, and I believe you make like 250 cash per tick. So as long as you get 4 hits in, you break even. And with your supporter, you'll get cash even quicker. Only time, Boss 3 will ever suck is if there's a lot of railgunners or there's a lot of engineers and you're near them. Otherwise, you'll do pretty good, As long as you don't run into a Zed or whatever, you should be able to make cash. It's just an eco zombie. Not much to be said. You go Boss 3 to make cash. Nothing too crazy. Alright, next up, Winter Wendigo. I don't have it, but they turbo buffed it. It is like 20,000 health. If I could describe Winter Wendigo, I would describe it as a Boss 3, but on wave 20, and you summon more things, and you do more damage. So, yeah, that's it. Winter Wendigo is like a fusion of Boss 3 and Boss 5, but at wave 20. Really stupid, pretty annoying to kill. Only weakness is Max Railgunner, so if people coordinate Max Railgunner targets, you're just kind of screwed. That's the only weakness of Winter Wendigo. But the problem is, no one uses Railgunner, so you're able to abuse it heavily. You're able to abuse it like crazy. Until more people start using Railgunner and learning how to counter Winter Wendigo, it's going to be absolutely busted. 100% use it. If you have it, it's pretty good. It's going to be pretty hard to mess up with it. Alright, next up, we got Voice Supporter. There's one thing I have to say about Voice Supporter is that, well, it's stupid as hell. You have AoE, and you make money. It's like crazy. I think Winter Wendigo also has AoE too, or something like that, but yeah. But Voice Supporter, they have built-in self-heal. So if you know that there's no infected doctors, go Voice Supporter. And your biggest counter, which was Max Aviator, is now nerfed to the ground. So you literally don't have to care about Aviator anymore. And Laser Resistance, sure, it does nothing, but it means you're able to bully Phaser, Exterminator. I think Zed also has laser damage at max. What else? Barracks has laser damage, so you're able to counter that effectively. Like, you counter a lot of things which have laser damage. That's their primary damage source. Golden Commando, even though it's not really all that worth it to go Voice Supporter to take out Golden Commando, if you like sneak up behind the nest and you're able to get in some damage, it's going to be pretty annoying for them to take you out. Otherwise, pretty good. Even when you get heavily targeted, you're always going to make a profit. It's really good. Only time, same thing with Winter Wendigo. Max Railgunner takes it out. But guess what? Not many people go Railgunner, and if a Railgunner does shoot you, you can hide behind a wall and Infected Doctor will heal you up instantly. Yep, really stupid. Even in like Autumn Cascade, if you're in the middle of a map and a Railgunner shoots you, you can go behind a tree or something. Or quickly go behind a house or a rock and hope they miss, with strafing or whatnot. So even on large maps with not that many walls, you can still do well against Max Railgunner. I mean, even if they land a headshot, which is like 7.5k. Oh yeah, the only time you'll ever suck is if there's like 2 Max Railgunners targeting you. But by that point, you'll have like a demon or a Winter Wendigo or like a hidden boss or lava or, something else to deal with it. Pretty good zombie. Really hard to mess up. You just walk forward, you swing. Don't heal when in combat. When you use your heal ability, you take increased damage. I see so many like new voice supporter players healing while in combat or out in the open while there's a max railgunner targeting them. So I just take them out instantly. Don't heal while in combat. There's like ways to mess up as like all these zombies, but with voice supporter, that's the big one. Next up, Mystery 2. They buffed Mystery 2 for some reason. Yeah, the most popular cache maker for zombie mode, and they buffed it. So basically what happens is you can spawn 2 zombies. So if you're really lucky, you can have 2 glitches spawn, or 2 yetis, or 2 demons, or 2 anything. You can have 2 anything spawn that Mystery 2 spawns. It freezes things, it can slow things down, it can like set things on fire, it can obstruct vision, it can stun things, you know, if they are able to. Mystery 2 just deals damage quick, gets money quick, and the only time Mystery 2 will ever suck is if someone goes max Crowd Gunner or max Ice Apprentice, in which they are going to rerun the events, so if there's a lot of Ice Apprentice spam, don't go Mystery 2. That's why I put Slime higher, that's why I put Hidden Boss higher. It's good if there's no freezing towers, but it kind of falls off a little bit if there's like freezing towers or max mortars targeting you. Otherwise, it's pretty excellent. You know, it does what it needs to do. You get cash, you profit, you're happy. Next up, Lava. First $0 zombie, and with good health and good damage, and pretty decent speed. It's pretty crazy. What you can do is, well, first of all, let me get this out of the way. A lot of terrible players will go Golden Zed Wave 16 because they don't want anyone else to have Golden Zed. And what typically happens is you get like a new player going Golden Zed on like Wave 20. And Lava counters it really well. Because of your high health and high damage, you can take out early Golden Zeds pretty easily. And early Zeds quickly too. You can also deal with Void Traders and whatnot, but I mainly use it to target Golden Zeds. Because, you know, I'm new to the game. This is my first time unlocking Golden Zed. I will go Golden Zed Wave 16 instead of Max Marksman. You know. So yeah, if you see one of those like annoying Golden Zed players that just do it Wave 16 when they have like no cash instead of letting the max tuber with like 40k by like Wave 18 get it, target them. Target the hell out of them. Do it for me. Make me proud by targeting Wave 16 Golden Zed users. The only time you should ever go Golden Zed is on Lord 3. Otherwise, you're giving Zombiemode free cash. Like, come on. But yeah, besides that mini rant on like, you know, the community's problems with Golden Zed and their obsession with it, Lava does what it needs to. Take out Void Traders, take out stationary towers, get cash. You know, like, I will literally be max Railgunner targeting zombie mode, and I'll see a Lava, and if I miss, I just die. I just die, and they get so much cash off me. It's absurdly good. You know, it's fitting for excellent. But now that we move on to the very good tier, we went from the best zombie in the game to the zombie mode meta, which is really good zombies, to excellent, which have their ups and downs, but it's still pretty good, to very good. They're pretty good, you know, they're very good. They have like noticeably more weaknesses than the zombies above, but they can still do the job. They can still get the job done. First up, Boss 4. First problem with Boss 4, you're forced to stand still when you punch, so if there's like Zeds and whatnot targeting you, you just kind of die quick. But it's pretty hard to not make a profit with Boss 4. But ultimately, if you want something cheaper, just go like Slime or, you know, or Hidden Boss or Mystery 2, or, you know, Boss 3 if you're in the mood for it, because it's half health than Boss 4. But the main thing that Boss 4 does is it takes out NG turrets, it takes out stationary towers, and it just annoys Void Trader. That's about it. You know, Boss 4 doesn't have all that much use. You're not killing a Max Zed. You're not killing a Golden Zed. Void Traders can run away from you, but they still can't do anything about you, so that's a positive for you. Stationary towers, they can probably kill you before you reach them, so there's not point in going Boss 4 for like, you know, big maps. If it's like Store or something, never go Boss 4. You're throwing money away unless it's like a boss wave, like Void 2, you know? Oh, only time I'd ever suggest Boss 4 on Store is if Void 2 is out in the field and you don't feel like doing anything else. Otherwise, you know, it does what it needs to. It gets you cash, it deals damage, you know. That's kind of the point of Boss 4. It's an eco zombie that can do damage, but, you know, not that much. Next up, we have a very surprising zombie for some players. Zombie mode hidden. Yeah? Looking up the stats, you might be like, what's so good about it? The damage and the tick rate. Like, you deal damage so quickly. I've made like a level 6k engineer rage quit. I've made Golden Z users rage quit when they were engineer and I'd target them. You can deal with early game NG sentry guns, you can deal with early game doctor, you can deal with marksman, you can deal with like tubers if you sneak up behind them without them noticing. You can take out commanders because they kind of have to land 2 shots in order to kill you. Wait, no. Level 2 commander is 70 damage. They need 2 shots. They need like 3 shots to take you out. It does so much for the early game. The only time hidden is ever useless if there's like a max fragger. But let's be honest, when the hell do you see max fragger? You know? And tuber damage ain't all that spectacular against hidden for the early game. So the only real way you'll die as hidden in the early game is to flamethrower, plasma trooper, and aviator, which no one goes aviator. So it's kind of pretty hard to die as hidden. So it's going to be hard to not make a profit. Also, you're immune to cryo gunner, which is really awesome because cryo gunner is the bane of early game zombie mode. Which guess what? Cryo gunner can freeze mystery too, but it can't freeze zombie mode hidden, which is LOL. Also, you might be wondering why I say zombie mode hidden. It's just because NPC hidden versus zombie mode hidden is absurd. NPC hidden, they annoy you, but zombie mode hidden, they make you go max fragger and target them the entire game. Like, oh my god, I hate hidden when I'm a tower. Drives me crazy. And that's why it's so good too. Alright, next up we got Mystery. You might be like, why is Mystery higher up than something like Lightning or Boss 1 or whatever, or Boss 2? Well, Mystery is just Mystery 2 but early game. You spawn 2 things. Also, Goo is absurdly overpowered. You can spawn Goo as Mystery, in which I've made like $400 during because of it. Like, is absurdly good. Oh my god, Mystery is so broken. Well, not like broken, but like really good for cash. Only time Mystery will suck is if someone goes crowd gunner and targets you. But like, let's be honest, who the hell goes crowd gunner? Unless there's someone specifically trying to target zombie mode. I've done it before. I've gone crowd gunner and targeted zombie mode only in the early game just to annoy them. It's funny as hell, but you make no cash doing it, and you get people hating you. But still funny as hell. Otherwise, pretty good zombie. It's around the middle. It's perfectly flat in the middle. Everything in the middle is exactly as expected. Not too weak, but not too strong. So they're, kind of perfectly balanced. Next up, we got Demon. I don't own Demon, but let me give you the rundown. They are Infected Commando, but you do AoE. That's about it. Only difference is you have a hasty cooldown, you have a big player model, and that's about it. The only weakness Demon had back then was it just got shreked by Max Mortar. Yes, I said shreked, whatever. But now that it has 50% explosive resistance, you can just kind of annoy the hell out of towers. Only time Demon, the main time people will like actually get value from Demon is on store. That's it. Demon is basically only good on store, but when you do get store, they kind of excel at it. First and foremost, I think one of the problems is that their projectile damage is kind of mediocre. Like, you're not really killing a max railgunner with Demon, Doctor rolls by, heals them back to full health, or they stand by an NG heal station and they just kind of get back full health. It's just whatever. NG, I mean, Demon, you're kind of going to use it like a hidden boss in that you're mainly going to be doing, contact damage as your main source of eco. So it's kind of whatever. It's outclassed by Infected Commando. If you want to go a zombie that needs contact damage to get cash, just go Voice Supporter. Projectile damage is whatever. You can miss it. I mean, the AoE is huge, but you can still have it glitch out and whatever. So it's ultimately whatever, It's not that good for offense, frankly. The moment you show yourself as Demon, there's going to be a max railgunner waiting for you, ready to headshot you because you're, stuck in midair while you try to trident. It just gets the job done. It does what it needs to. It's nothing spectacular. Next up, we have one of the most overrated zombies in the game. Infected Flamethrower. First and foremost, it deals crazy damage. Like, this thing is annoying as hell. I hate the ever-living crap out of this thing. When I see Infected Flamethrower, I will literally get off of what I'm doing and target them only. I hate Infected Flamethrower with a burning passion, which is kind of funny because it's fire. But anyways, what can you do as Infected Flamethrower? If the towers suck, you can make them lose, but they were going to lose anyways if they can't deal with an Infected Flamethrower. It's okay at making cash. You can bully void traders in the game. You can annoy commander players, you can bully doctor players, you can, bully phaser players a little bit. Now, the thing is, Infected Flamethrower has a lot of counters. Level 4 Mortar deals 800 damage, so if there's like 2 people going level 4 Mortar by Lord 2, you just can't play the game. Or, and like level 4 Mortar drops the same wave as Infected Flamethrower. So, here's what might happen. You spawn in as Infected Flamethrower, you do some damage, 2 level 4 Mortars take you out instantly. Boom, you didn't make that much cash. Most of the time, I see people go Infected Flamethrower just to target NG Nest, which is like kind of stupid. They could just rebuild it anyways, and you lose your money anyways. So just don't go near NG if you want to take out an NG Nest. If you want to counter NG, just don't go near it until you're able to. Simple enough. I mean, it's like average. Pretty easy to counter. If it doesn't get countered, it can cause towers to lose. It's sort of like in between. It's like a little two-faced. Uh, Max Mercenary can counter Infected Flamethrower because they both drop the same wave. Max Mercenary deals 65 damage per shot, and that can really take down an Infected Flamethrower. What else? You can have someone go Max Marksman and one-shot them because Max Marksman deals 1.8k damage. So that's the main advantage. So yeah, Infected Flamethrower, only good for one wave, and then it just sucks. And even then, it can start sucking at the same wave as you unlock it. So it's kind of a little bit of a risky option. But, it gets the job done. Next up, we got Boss 2. Ever since they upped the price and whatever, it's just kind of whatever. Like, literally the only time you'll ever get cash from Boss 2 is with, like, Void Traders. That's it. Only time you go Boss 2 is up to do tracking spit to the one single person going Aviator since they deleted Aviator. So, like, either way, your tracking spit can just break out and not even kill the Aviator. So don't even use it for Aviator most of the time, unless you're desperate. But other than that, let me give you the rundown of what Boss 2 does. They spawn in by Void Trader, they get money off Void Trader, and then they die. Because anytime they try to go for a stationary tower or whatever, they just menu, run away, or Boss 2 dies beforehand. On the other hand, though, you can have Infected Doctor Boss 2 combo. It's pretty stupid. It's pretty funny, but it's not the best combo to do. Boss 2 it's just pretty good. It's not like too weak or too strong. It's just perfect in the middle. Me, myself, I never buy Boss 2. It's one of those zombies that are like too much of an investment to really get worth anything with. But other than that, that breaks up the very good tier. Next up, we got decent tier. These are zombies that are, well, decent, They're a little bit weaker than the ones at the above, but they can still do well. They have their noticeable flaws that hold them back more than other things. Like with Mystery's flaw, like if you get frozen, you're just kind of screwed, but you can still do damage, even if there's a crowd gunner. You just have to play more careful. But decent zombies, they're just they're just mediocre, basically. First up, we got Toboggan, an event juggernaut. Here's his abilities in a nutshell: Spear Throw, which is like whatever. Charge, which good luck hitting that. I've had a Toboggan miss me with the charge attack. Like, it's just stupid. Don't even. Like, the only time you should ever use your charge attack is on a Golden Zed or Zed, and that's it. Like, And then you got your Stomp ability, which, like, frankly, when is a Void Trader ever gonna approach you? Only time you'd ever really use Stomp is if for, like, the singular Aviator player, or you want to quickly take out a nest, which, guess what? Planet Earth, Like, if you want to take out a nest, just go planet. You don't need to go close to them or anything. Because guess what? Let's say there's two commanders. One commander is on the left side of the map, while the other is on the right side of the map. If you're Toboggan, how can you take out both nests? Like, you have to run to the left one, take it out, and then they'll respawn on the right side, and then they'll shoot you. Meanwhile, a planet is like, oh, you're splitting up? Okay, let me just shoot this side, and then let me just shoot the other side in a few seconds. Like, Planet Earth don't care about splitting up. They just kind of, they're just kind of Shrek crowds. I mean, Toboggan is not the worst Juggernaut. It's definitely worse down there, but it's not the best either. Frankly, if you want to go Juggernaut, just go Planet. literally don't even bother with Toboggan. Most of their abilities suck. And you can't even body block with Toboggan. Like, you can't even meat shield. Like, at least with Eternal Jack or Planet or Titan, they can have an infected doctor heal them while they block shots for King 4 or something like that, or Lord 4 or Void 2 or Void or whatever. Toboggan, you can't really do anything. Like, you're just kind of there just to do damage. You're not there to body block, you're not there to take out crowds. You just kind of go there to take out Zeds, but guess what? Lord 3, like, really. There's no point in going Toboggan, but either way, if no one else has, like, lords and whatnot, and you don't want to go Planet, like, the only time I'd suggest Toboggan is if you don't have Planet or Kings. That's about it. Otherwise, just let someone else go Planet, or let someone else go an event Juggernaut. It just kind of sucks. But it's still decent, it's not bad, but it's not good. Next up, King Hidden Boss. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is King Hidden Boss there? You can't make any cash. First and foremost, it kills Golden Zeds like crazy. Like, I be seeing level 4 Golden Zeds or Max Zeds, and I just kill them. And if I die, my Hidden Boss spawns will just get me money. So it's kind of like a win-win, You kill stuff, and then when you die, you make money. It's just whatever. Only time it sucks is that there's Hollow Boomer, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter all that much because you're just there to do the death money. It's pretty good. Pretty hard to mess up. It's decent. You make no money from attacking players, but frankly, what's the point? You're gonna have a lot of money anyways, so might as well do it. Next up, Necromancer. Let me give you a rundown of how Necromancer goes. You go Necromancer, you spawn in, you get hit by Crowd Gunner, and then Mortar takes you out. That's like the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you're around some like idiotic void traders that just give you free money. So they're kind of like in between. They can get you cash, or you can just get wrecked by Mortar, which is really stupid and funny. So yeah, I don't recommend Necromancer all that much. They're just kind of whatever. Same thing with Super Slow. But even more because it costs 500. Yeah. Only time I'd recommend Super Slow if there's like some brain dead Wave 16 Golden Zed, and then you can target them for free cash. So yeah, you get frozen by Crowd Gunner and you're dead. That's Super Slow. This is kind of whatever. The cash cane is kind of mediocre. It's not like crazy good or crazy bad. It's just whatever. Alright, another jump cut, but next up we got Lightning. It's just... Now we're heading on to the weak and niche tier. These are for like, zombies that aren't the best and are kind of outclassed, but they have a niche to fill, These are for weak zombies with like mediocre use that don't do much on their own or having one niche that another zombie can do better at. But, they're kind of not that worth buying, but they can be good in certain scenarios. But with Lightning, problem is, like, Phaser has 1000 health now, so that damage is just not going to do anything. Only time you'll ever kill a Phaser as Lightning is if they are, like, isolated and alone. But other than that, like, what happens is, you go by Stationary Tower, and because the Stationary Tower is by NG, you just die quick. Like, and then even then, if you spawn by a Zed and abuse iframes, if you want to abuse iframes, just go Lava. Significantly better and free. Like, it's really outclassed. And offense-wise, it's not all that spectacular. But the main thing going for it is the stupid, like, little lightning strike thing that it can do at times. Those things can, like, be annoying as hell. And can kill things. It's just whatever. Other than that, it's just kind of whatever. I've said it like 5 times, but it's really not that good of a zombie. I don't really recommend it that much. Next up, we got Hunter. High levels will like praise this thing to death. I see Golden Zeds go Hunter. Golden Zed users, like level 6Ks and whatnot, go Hunter all the time. But guess what? Some random kid can go Max Fragger and just wreck you without needing to aim. Someone else can go Marksman and just take you out. Someone else can go Commander and take you out. Someone else can go Sniper and take you out. Like, there are many ways to take out a Hunter that's easy. And the only time you'll like ever really get use from Hunter is if the tower players are like literal lobotomite patients that don't even see your existence. You know, only time you'll get value from Hunter is by going, if I like being on a server with a bunch of low levels. But at that point, like Hidden might be better because if people can't take out a Hunter, then Hidden will be the cheaper option. Well, not cheaper, but I mean the quicker option. It does a niche that it needs to. You target Marksman, you target other towers that are taking out Lord One. You know, it's not that good, but it's not that bad either. Severely outclassed, but what can you really do about it? It's an early game zombie. Next up, we got Witch. Same thing as Hunter. Like the moment people see you and there's a good player there, you will get no value. Like Witch effectively becomes useless by wave 10 because that's when someone can go level 4 mortar. I mean level 4 marksman, which can just wreck you. You know. Frankly, if tower players are bad enough that they can't kill you as a witch and hunter, then like frankly, you can go something else and get more value than really bothering with witch. And guess what? No one goes aviator. So your main gimmick of killing aviators is like pointless. Like who the hell is going witch for aviator when there's no one going aviator to begin with? It doesn't really serve that much of a good niche. Just stick with hidden. Frankly, it leaves yourself as a lesser target because you can go invisible as hidden, whereas with Witch, everyone sees where you are, and if there's a cracked player, they can just snipe you in the air. It's just been falling off ever since, all the nerfs, and then all the alternatives, and then all the counters, like, Witch is just not that good. Alright, next up we got Boss 1. I'm gonna be honest with you, I forgot the last time I ever bought Boss 1. Only time you ever make money as Boss 1 is if there's like an Enforcer or Knifer or Void Trader and you're spawning on top of them. That's it. That's the only time you'll ever make money as Boss 1. Because let me give you a rundown of what can happen. Marksman, Mercenary, Crowd Gunner, Sniper, Commander, like so many different things. I'd be going like Marksman at wave 10, it'll be like level 4. And I'll just instantly take out boss 1s. Not instantly, but really quickly. It's just not that reliable. Out of all the cash gaining zombies, I'd have to say that boss 1 is the worst. Overall, I don't recommend it. You have a big player model, people will target you because they see boss title and everyone wants boss 1 for money. The only time you'll make money is with melee towers near you. If you try to go after like a ranged tower like Tuber or Marksman, you'll just die and get no money. Not that much of a point going boss 1. And if you use the skin, you're a little goober. Like, what are you doing? Anytime I see a skinned boss 1, I'm like, oh, that's Zombiemode. I can just ignore them and just run away. But at least with like the non-skinned one, it's just like, is that a mystery? Is that Zombiemode? Is that a NPC that I can get cash off of? It's sort of like whatever. Like if it's wave 13 and there's a lot of mystery spawning and you spawn in as boss 1, people might mistake you for a spawned zombie which can't make cash and they'll leave you alone while they focus on mysteries. So you can sort of get in like a little bit of a cheeky sneak attack in by trying to blend in as an NPC that can't get cash. Alright, after another jump cut, because, background audio. Alright, let me find it. Next up, we got Ice Marauder, which I don't have. Yeah. It's another 5k zombie, like Void Supporter, Infected Commando, that stuff. But the gimmick is that they freeze stuff, but ever since it gave Golden Zed and like Void Trader freeze immunity, yeah, it does nothing. So like, why the hell would you want to freeze something if the only thing you can freeze are stationary towers and freeze doesn't affect them? It's just useless. It got nerfed too many times. Titan and Ice Marauder got nerfed a lot, but ultimately Titan is at least usable because of the boulder. Meanwhile, Ice Marauder is just useless. Never pick it. You are literally throwing cash away. You'd be better off going boss 1 at wave 20. No joke. But besides that disappointment, we got Lord Hidden Boss. I mean, like, it's $1,000 more than Hidden Boss, but you're kind of not that good. Because you can't go invisible and whatnot, towers are going to target you more often, so you're not going to be as deadly. And you spawn basically the same thing as King Hidden Boss, so it's like, why would you spend 1,000 more just to do the same thing? But, but, it's not like terrible because you still got the summons, and with Ice Marauder, you can still get some cash if you have an infected doctor. You're just really outclassed, you know? Ice Marauder is like the worst cash maker, but it's still usable and it can still get some niche use. Meanwhile, with Lord Hidden Boss, all you really have going for you is just dying and spawning the hidden bosses nearby, which is like whatever. It really has no use. But it still has some use because you still get money after dying, but that's about it. We just got the next up we got the 3 starter zombies. Slow, which is like whatever. If you get frozen, you're just useless. The only time you'll ever get value with slow is if you spawn near an enforcer, and that's about it. Speedy, which you're mainly gonna be using. The only time speedy will suck is like if towers are good at aiming. So that's whatever. Might as well just wait at that point. And then normal, which, no one is really going to use ever. So you got the 3 starters. They're weak. They serve their purpose though. Like cheap stuff. It's whatever. Alright, now we're getting onto the terrible tier. Um, the, for things in the terrible tier, well, name kind of gives it away. But besides that, a more accurate description would be situational zombies that are either extremely weak, really cost efficient, utterly outclassed by better things, or just like completely garbage. Like things that don't work at all. First up, we got Expired Jack. Um, why the hell would you ever go Expired Jack? Like, playing it is an option. Expired Jack, like, they don't even one-shot Zeds, I believe. So it's like, what's the point of them? You know? They're like a crummier planet. They're a worse planet with literally nothing going for them. Zero purpose to play them. But at least they work. Like, at least Expired Jack works. Here's Armageddon. First and foremost, it's so expensive. It's the same price as Eternal Jack, but with none of the value of it. Alright, first good thing I have to say about it, really high amount of health, and it can one-shot Zed, and it can two-shot Golden Zed. And that's it. That's literally it. It's literally just a Lord 4, but in Juggernaut form. That's Armageddon. Because their abilities, they don't work. You do the rock ability, and it'll either miss, do like 0 damage, or a mixture of both. It won't do damage, and it won't work. So that ability is completely worthless. I don't think I've ever died to the rock once, unless I was like a phaser, and that's it. Their second ability is a laser beam that sweeps around that deals 10,000 damage, so it can't even kill Zeds. So that's awesome. Like, what's the point of it? And it's really hard to hit things. Like, I've literally gone underneath it as phaser. So when you're trying to hit one target, it'll kind of miss the others. So you kind of have to think of it as like an arc. It's like an arc, but it's really awkward to land. So most of the time, you're only gonna hit one thing with it, and you can just completely whiff it accidentally too. So what is the point of this? Well, upon dying, you will run around, be able to punch some things, and then explode, which will insta-kill a Golden Zed, I believe. But, like, Infected Doctor. The last thing you're going to be doing as Armageddon is dying, because Infected Doctors will heal you. So at that point, you're just a Lord 4 without phaser immunity and no abilities, because they all suck. So, yeah, what's the point of Armageddon? Just go plan it. It's cheaper, it's better, your teammates will thank you more for it, and people won't be laughing at you because you just wasted 40k on like the worst Juggernaut in the game. But, now that that's out of the way, the last 4 zombies are all identical. They all share the same problem. Lord Boss 2, 0 threatening value, you don't make any cash from it. No point in buying Lord 2. no one's really losing on Lord Hidden Boss, and for Lord 3, you go Max Void Trader, so like, why would you ever do this? Same thing with King Boss too. Exact same thing. Like, why would you ever go this? Aviator sucks, so it's not like you're using the spitballs for anything, and no one loses on Lord Hidden Boss, anyways. So it's like, yeah, whatever. And then you got Lord Boss 1, which, like, really, what are you gonna do on Lord Boss 2 fight? Like, how are you gonna make a server lose on King 2 and Lord 2 by going Lord Boss 1? Like, at that point, just go Infected Flamethrower. For $250 more, you'll go something that's equally as threatening and you make cash. So, no point in going Lord 1. Now, we got the allegedly worst zombie in the game, which is King Boss 1. Is really cheap. Like, if you want to go offense, by all means do it. You know, you won't make any money, but you'll be annoying. Now, don't get this mistaken. I don't think that King Boss 1 is the worst zombie in the game. I think it's Armageddon. Armageddon is the worst zombie in the game. But the thing is, with these things, they kind of take up King and Lord slots, so it's like, that's kind of why I had to put them below. I mean, at least with Armageddon, the worst thing you're taking up is an Eternal Jack slot and a Planet Earth slot, which is like, whatever at the end of the day. But King Boss 1, like, if it's the early game, like, yeah. But people can hog with these, so that's kind of why they're a problem. But anyways, if you learned something from this, well, yeah. Dang, I need to think of an outro. I'm literally like thinking of the outro while I'm recording the video. But if you like this video, well, share it, like it if you want, subscribe if you want to. If you learned something from this, well, glad to know. You know, if you learned something new about Zombiemode and you're gonna put this out to the test, and sure, be my guest. See if you share the same opinions as me. You know, I mean, of course you are. When the hell are you gonna get value with Boss One? Like, I don't even think I need to like prove anything. It just sucks. But yeah, besides that, you can share this video with other people that also play Zombiemode if you want to, and that's about it. See ya.